Hi everyone, welcome to class. Today we're going to start our mornings off with just a um, happy, smiley, sunshine-filled practice. So grab your mat, um, grab something comfy, and we will get started in a minute. Awesome. Well, as you make your way down to the ground and find a comfortable seat, if you're sitting cross-legged, I challenge you to maybe switch how you're sitting. So left in front or right in front, depending on what you currently have, just to switch things up a bit, just to see how that feels. Whichever foot feels a little maybe funky or not normal, maybe start that way and see how that changes your practice. Um, As you find that comfortable seat, sit up nice and tall. Maybe soften your gaze and close your eyes. Today's practice, we're just going to cultivate an energy of smiling and joy to start our weeks. Maybe you close your eyes and smile a little bit to yourself. Maybe you think of the birds chirping outside or the sun shining through your window this morning. Maybe that brings you a little bit of joy. Awesome. And when you're ready, we'll start, as we always do, with our Sufi grind, waking up the spine, the circular motion. Inhaling as our chest shines forward, exhaling as our back is rounded. Then we'll switch directions. And slowly we'll come back to stillness, back to that comfortable seat, making our circles smaller and smaller and smaller. Awesome. Inhale, we'll reach the arms up and overhead. Big, big morning stretch. Maybe you want to grab your wrist or your hand just to stretch it even more. And then exhale, we'll bend to one side. Side body stretch. Maybe your forearm comes to the ground for a deeper stretch. Reaching that opposite hip back into the ground to lengthen through your side body. Connecting to our breath, pressing away from the earth. Creating length and space. Woo. The sun is peeking through over here, guys. So beautiful, so happy. Awesome. We'll come back to center. We'll take to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, maybe palm or forearm comes to the ground. Other arm reaches up and over for a side body stretch. Check in with your opposite hip, making sure it's grounded and pulling down towards the ground to create length in that side body so you get a good stretch. Opening up. And exhale, we'll come back to center. Great. We'll inhale, arms up, and then we'll take opposite hand to opposite knee. Dropping the other arm for a gentle twist. Looking over the back shoulder. Reaching the crown of our head up. Awesome. Come back to center. We'll take it to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, opposite hands to opposite knee. Twist. Awesome. And then we'll come back to center. Inhale, we'll bring our palms together at the heart. And I invite you to take this time to set a little intention for your practice or maybe even your week. I know sometimes on Mondays we can get really negative. We can almost dread the work week. We can dread things we have to do this week. I personally sometimes long to be somewhere else, like on the beach or on the couch. So find a little intention that kind of puts a positive spin for your week. Once you have that in your head, maybe smile a little bit to yourself. And let that word guide you through the rest of this practice and the rest of this. Awesome. On your next inhale, we'll make our way to all fours. We'll do some cat-cows. So inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, tucking the belly button, tucking the chin. Cat pose. Inhale. Exhale. Let your own breath guide you for the next couple. Going as fast or as slow as your body needs today. Awesome, and you can finish wherever you're at and meet me in a neutral spine. And then we'll walk our hands just slightly forward, and then we'll slowly peel our tailbone up towards the sky, downward facing dog. Stretching through the backs of our heels. Maybe you come up on your tippy toes and then come back down. Stretching through the calf muscle. Awesome. And then on your next inhale, we'll slowly start walking our feet towards our hands. Baby steps, micro movements, feeling that stretch through the back legs. Moving all the way to the top of our mat. We'll start with our feet hip width apart. Maybe a slight micro bend in the knees. We reach for the ground. And then slowly On your next inhale, we'll rise up, stacking each vertebra on top of each other, rolling through the shoulders, standing up nice and tall. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Palms facing forward at your sides, welcoming the day. Sometimes when I'm in this pose, I imagine I'm standing at the edge of a cliff and the sun is beating on me, and it's just that beautiful moment looking out over the valley. Awesome. So we're going to take 5 sun salutations here. If you are familiar with the sun salutation, go at your own pace. If not, I'll guide you through the first 1 or 2 and then let you go with the pace of your breath. So inhale, we'll reach the arms up. Maybe we'll slight micro bend in the back before we exhale, diving forward to a forward fold. Inhale, we'll put the hands on the tops of the shins or the tops of the thighs, creating a flat back position for a halfway lift. Exhale all the way back down to the ground, forward fold. Then we'll step 1 foot back, then the other to plank pose, or you can lower your knees to all fours. And then lower all the way to belly. Inhale, we'll press up for a cobra or baby cobra. Exhale back down. Inhale up to plank or all fours. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale, we'll walk our hands, our feet all the way up to meet our hands. Feet shoulder width apart. And then inhale, we'll slowly rise back up to mountain pose. That's 1 sun salutation. You did it. Awesome. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping it back on the inhale. Exhale, we'll go all the way to the belly, or maybe this time we go chaturanga to up dog if that's in your practice. Exhale all the way back down, pressing up to all fours, downward facing dog. And then inhale, we'll walk all the way back up to the top of the mat. Maybe this time feet are flush together as we rise up. Mountain pose. All right, I invite you to take the next 3 at your own breath and at your own pace, trusting that you know where to go. You know what your body needs today. You know what to bring a smile to your face. Awesome. Wherever you're at, finish your last sun salutation. I'll meet you back in mountain pose. Great work. So if your feet are flush together, I would walk them just a little wider than hip width apart. If they're hip width apart, just maybe one more step either direction. And then we're going to start with our willow tree. So we'll just turn, letting our arms loose, kind of like spaghetti arms at our side, and we'll twist to each side. Option here, you can almost like lift the back foot if you want more of a twist, like so, or you can keep your feet planted and kind of just move and bend your knees as you turn. This is one of my favorite poses. It's kind of silly, makes me smile. It's a great way to start off your week in kind of a light and happy, smiley mood. So feel free to get faster. That makes you smile more. Slowly come back to stillness. And then keeping our legs wide, we're going to bring our hands to our hips for a good power pose, reaching the crown of our head up, tucking that tailbone, so kind of almost like bringing your belly button a little bit up or up and in, tucking that to your back body. And then we'll inhale, standing up nice and tall in our big power pose, taking up space, the space that is ours, that is for us. And then exhale, we'll bend at the hips, hinge at the hips, looking forward, almost like you're looking at your reflection in a lake or in a pond. And then we'll bend all the way down, reaching for the ground. If you can't reach the ground, that's no big deal. You don't have to reach the ground with this forward fold. You can bring the ground up to you with a block like this, or even lower like this if that feels more comfortable. If you do reach the ground, your fingertips can come to the ground, maybe palms to the ground, and you can slowly walk your hands closer and closer to your feet, deepening your fold. Always an option here to have a slight bend in your knee, or maybe even a generous bend, so you can reach the ground. We'll hang here, letting our neck kind of hang, maybe shaking the head yes, then no. Feeling that release in the back of the neck, the upper back. And then inhale, we'll walk the hand to the left side of your mat, straightening through your legs a little, feeling that stretch in the back of the left foot. And then we'll walk to the other side, feeling that stretch through the back of the right foot, within the right leg. And then we'll come back to center. And we'll bring our hands to our hips and we'll slowly rise back up. Taking up space, standing in our power. Imagining how positive and wonderful this week is going to be. Awesome. And then slowly we'll heel toe to hip width apart. Now on your next inhale, we'll bring our arms up and overhead, and then exhale, you'll slowly sink back, slowly coming into a seat, into chair pose, arms up, switch to the other side. Like reaching our hands up, creating a straight line, From the tips of our fingers to our tailbone. And then on our next inhale, we'll bring our hands to our heart. Inhale, look forward, maybe straightening the legs, hinging at the hips. And then we'll step 1 foot back. For a high lunge, arms can come up. Exhale, pivot on the back foot, open up, warrior 2. Inhale, front hand reaches up, back, over. Peaceful warrior. And then inhale, we'll cartwheel our hands all the way forward, framing our front foot. And then we'll step it back to plank or step it back to all fours. You can take a vinyasa here, so down chaturanga to up dog or belly to cobra. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Your next inhale, walk your feet up to meet your hands, keeping your feet hip width apart. Inhale, we'll rise up, rounding through the shoulders. Mountain pose. Inhale, we'll reach our arms up, and then exhale, we'll sink back to that seated posture to chair pose, tucking our tailbone, creating a nice long spine from the tailbone all the way up to the head. Exhale, hands can come to chest, prayer pose. This time we'll step the opposite foot. You didn't step back last time. So step 1 foot back, coming up to a high lunge. Exhale, pivoting on the back foot, arms go out side to side. Warrior 2. Inhale, reaching the front arm up, forward, back, and up. Peaceful warrior. Breathing into the side body. Exhale, cartwheeling it all the way back to that high lunge, framing the front foot, and then stepping it back to plank or all fours, taking a flow if that feels good. If not, welcome to take a child's pose. That is where we will meet you. Awesome. We'll bring our knees as wide as the yoga mat, toes to touch, and then sink our hips back onto our feet, reaching our arms forward, child's pose. Your head can come to rest on the mat here. Maybe you massage your forehead, rolling your head back and forth. Maybe you reach your hands just a little bit further ahead of you, stretching through that side body, stretching through those back muscles. Reconnect with your breath and notice how you feel. Awesome. And then when you're ready, you can walk your hands back towards your knees, coming up onto your knees and then swinging your knees to one side, coming to a seated position. We'll bring our legs out long. You may want a block to sit up on, a little book or a blankie that might feel more comfortable in these seated postures, creating a little bit more space. Inhale, we'll reach our hands up. And then, as always, imagine like you're holding a big beach ball. And then on your exhale, you're going to think up and over, placing the beach ball on the other side of your feet. Your hands coming to rest on your ankles, your shins, your thighs, wherever they reach. Stretching through the low back, lengthening through the hamstrings. Make sure your toes are engaged and pointing towards the sky. Last breath, maybe go just slightly deeper than you thought you could go. And then we'll come back all the way up. Awesome. If you're sitting on a block, we're gonna come to lay on our back. So you can move that block to the side. You can come to lay on your back. We'll start with bringing our right knee into our chest, extending our left leg out long, hugging that right knee in. Breathing here, and then inhale, we'll take our left hand to the outside of our right knee, so kind of crossing over, and then exhale, we're going to bring that knee all the way across our body for a side body stretch or recline twist. We'll reach that right hand maybe out along the side. Your gaze can come and look at your right hand, coming to rest on your right ear, feeling that nice stretch the outside of your hip. And then exhale, we'll come back to center. And then you can place your right foot on the ground, bringing your left knee into your chest and then reaching that right foot out. Maybe you flex in your ankles a little bit, one way or the other. And then when you're ready, you'll take the right hand to the outside of your left knee and then guide your left leg all the way across your body, coming into a reclined twist. Maybe reaching that other hand out to the side. Stretching through the outside of the hip muscle. And then exhale, coming back to center. This is a great time to take any final pose that feels good in your body. So maybe a little bit of a windshield wiper of your knees, massaging through the low back. Maybe it's a candlestick pose, sticking your legs up. Maybe it's just putting your feet as wide as the yoga mat, bringing your knees in. Happy baby is a good one as well. Lengthening through that back. Just whatever you need to close out this practice. And then when you're ready, you can come into your final resting pose, bringing your shoulders underneath your heart space, bringing every part of your back flush with the ground. Reaching your legs out long if that's comfortable, or coming to let your knees rest against each other. Hands can come to rest on the belly, on the heart, or next to you. Settling in for these few moments. Quiet. Letting go of your breath. And letting yourself be proud of taking time today for yourself. When you're ready, we'll wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, waking up the body, slowly waking up the wrists, the ankles, forearms, the calves, thighs, rest of our arms as we slowly roll to one side, pressing all the way up to that comfortable seat that we started our practice in. As you bring your hands to your heart, I invite you to reconnect with that intention you set earlier. Let that guide the rest of your day and maybe even the rest of your week. Thank you so much for coming to class today. Thank you for letting me guide you. It's been an honor. The light in me bows and honors the light in you. Namaste. Awesome. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your week.